What's up, everybody? It's your girl CC with WIB Magazine. Happy Tuesday. I have my co-host Mickey Monday on the line. How are you?
Doing pretty well, CC. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I want you to introduce this special guest that we have on the line with us today.
Okay. We got a very talented artist here, hailing all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, sir. So I'm gonna bring him in right. Mekaiel. Mekaiel, it's nice having you on the
Yes,
on the show here.
it is nice to be a part of the show also, to be invited and say yes to it, and then we're here now
Right.
talking. So, yeah.
That's wonderful, man. Glad to
Well,
be
tell
glad to be here.
everybody who you are, where you from, what you do. I know, y'all, this
um,
is one of my dearest friends. We've been friends for
yes,
a long, long time, so I'm so happy to have him up on the show today.
yes. Well, Mikael, as you guys rightfully said, 26 years of age, gospel artist. Um, I also dabble in, anything entertainment based. I love film. Deep in doing gospel music. So yeah, gospel artist. I run my own independent record label and management firm. So I've worked with one or two artists in and around the Caribbean in terms of management. And yeah, just a humble servant. And yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, what made you even want to do gospel or getting into the entertainment world?
I have to say, and I always say it, it's my dad. It was my dad. My dad is known for being a singing evangelist within the Seventh-day Adventist circle. And of course, he would have gone beyond that and started ministering in different denominations. And just seeing him growing up around that environment, that was more or less my opening to jumping into music. He would be very much a stickler for at least getting as perfect as possible when it came to learning songs, when it came to delivering a song, when it came to, the pronunciation of words, making sure persons can tell what you're saying. Um, and yeah, I mean, he started it off. I didn't want to go into gospel music in my teen years, I should say. I actually said to myself no to music at all because I mean I was around it for all my life. I was like, no, just don't want to be around this or be in this at all. And uh, I couldn't help myself. Gospel music called me. Music in itself called me, and I said, okay, God. Uh, do with me as you want. And I jumped into gospel music, fought tooth and nail, and I'm here, today, still doing it. And I always had a desire to also do it in a way where I can have some sort of control, which would have led to me then saying, okay, um, let me do what others won't be expecting, which is have a record label of my own also. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Tell me one. Oh, go ahead, Mickey Monday. Go ahead. My bad.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just going to compliment him and saying that like just hearing him talk about his father and how his father kind of gave him that motivation and push to
Yeah.
explore his creativity in music. I was going to ask you who is your biggest supporter, but it sounds like you already answered that question in the previous you already answered that question in your previous answer. So my question to you would be, for those who would like to get a feel of your sound, right, and what you sound like as a gospel
Mhm.
artist, which song of yours would you pick to recommend to to your listeners? Maybe you have you're gonna get a new
Ooh.
fan base listening here. I mean, showing here. So what song would you recommend and why?
Mm.
Um, but okay, so if you're asking in terms of persons wanting to just picture in their minds or I guess go back to a song that they may love from a specific artist before I
Mm,
even mention any song of mine, I would say it's a mixture between Kirk Franklin, Mali Music, and Dietrich Haddon. So Kirk Franklin's, well, I would say his latest song, Strong God, right? It's a mixture of that along with Mali Music's, so much I like a lot. Uh, Mali Music's Bow Out and Dietrich Haddon's He's Able. So it's a mixture of all three when it comes to my sound. If it is you're trying to picture, okay, what song from another artist can I kind of, go back to that would kind of give me a sense of what this artist is. I would say those three and those three songs. There's a lot of other songs that I would call, but yeah, those three songs that come to mind. And the one of my own songs that I would say persons can go to that would give them a very strong sense of who I am. Well, I would give two songs of mine. That would be Seven, one that is called Seven, the number seven, EVEN. I did it in a creative kind of way, so it's Seven. Song Seven, and the other song would be I Choose to Live. I Choose to Live would have been my single I released last year. That is a part of my upcoming album also. So Seven and I Choose to Live definitely would give you, it's the hard hitters, I would say. The hard hitters.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you can go and listen to those.
Okay, cool.
Man, that's dope. Those are some dope. But let me ask you, what are some challenges that you have in Trinidad? As far as getting your music played, getting your music out, and getting it over here to the US.
Well, the doors of the gospel stations, we have three major gospel stations, and then we have mainstream stations that actually play gospel at specific segments of the day or on specific intervals during the weekends. So we have that mixture where mainstream plays gospel music here and there, but there are three major gospel stations. It is not as difficult to get the music played on radio down here, but it is, and I think this is kind of something worldwide. It is a matter also of connecting to persons, so connections. Outside of just having a good product, which is the first thing you definitely need to have that good product. It's also, networking, having someone, whether it's that one person or it's knowing the head of the station or whomever, and presenting your song and saying, hey, I would love you to give this a shot. Let me know what you think. And once you get in that door or through that door, definitely it's not that much of a worry. They expect of you then to keep the same quality that they would have heard and would have accepted, saying, okay, if you love this, we're going to play this on our stations. So they would definitely expect that to keep that same energy, keep that same sound or quality, I should say. If you don't bring that quality, trust me, they're going to tell you point blank no. So you definitely have to keep that quality that you would have given them the first round and just show them, hey, we're building from this. I'm building from this, and the sound is just going to keep getting better and better and better. Mainstream stations, they, as I said, they play gospel music at specific intervals, but they still don't kind of make it known to the public that, hey, we're looking for gospel artists. We're looking for songs from different artists and whatnot. So you have to go through their process of, okay, presenting your songs just like you would to gospel or anywhere, but sometimes waiting a very long while just to get word of if they have accepted the song and it's going to be played on the radio and whatnot. And then entering the market then with your first song, second song, whatever it may be, and looking to start to send music to you guys in the US. That's where it gets a bit tricky, because then we're faced with, whilst networking is key, we're also faced with, okay, understanding that the format may slightly be different, or maybe different in a vast way. So that would mean sometimes, because some stations would want to keep it that way, whereas you have to go through someone in order to just get to the station. And then there are times where you can submit your music and I guess hope for the best, so it's kind of
Up and down.
different. Yeah, it's kind of up and down. So it's never a sure thing. And then too, the industry has changed so much with the internet. It's sometimes well, I don't view it specifically or exactly like this, but the industry has changed so much because of the internet that a lot of times you don't even end up sending in your songs. Sometimes you may actually be contacted because the song has blown up and they want to know, do you have a team, do you have management, this sort of thing, to make sure that everything is secure for when they say, okay, we're going to take this song and put it on our station. We want to know that everything is secure, because we don't want to be getting called up or emailed about cease and desist or anything of the sort. So it's gotten a bit easier, but there's of course I would say much more structure in place when it comes to trying to get your music out to you guys on your radio stations.
I got you. Okay.
And it's great that you mentioned that, because yet again, that was one of my questions. And just like you said, the format is structured different. Do you think it would be more difficult to have your music break over here, or have your sound break internationally? Because being in America, or having plays in America is one thing, but have you considered reaching out to other countries, or you haven't gotten that far yet? You're like, well, let me start here internally in Trinidad, and then then I'll work on the US market, and then I'll work on the UK market, and then you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm understanding what you're saying.
Okay.
What I would say to that is that I've been blessed. I guess we would get into that later on, but I've been blessed in terms of the moment I decided I wanted to jump into this seriously. God has placed me in specific situations, along with having met specific persons that would have mentored me.
Okay.
So definitely I have a mentor of mine who would have from the jump told me that my first two songs actually that would have made an impact, not a huge impact, but would have made the necessary impact for me locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, was not ready for the US market. So I was like, okay, I understand. Whilst it is good for everyone to listen to when they go on YouTube and whatnot, because the quality, I can assure you, the quality was up to par as at best as possible. She was still like, hey, before you even look at jumping into the American market or any market at all, sometimes some countries or the airs of some radio stations would be totally different from what, the US is looking for. What you can't expect every song to hit, so I took my time, and from there built to, the best of my ability, the necessary knowledge, so that by the time I started to get more of my music out, I just decided, you know what, I know what I believe would work in the US market within the format of specific gospel stations, along with hopefully even if a mainstream station in the US says, hey, we're going to play this, so it was me trying to understand that best as possible, and then making the decisive or making the decision, sorry, to say, okay, these songs are what I believe could make an impact, whether they pick it or not. I believe this can make an impact. So I was very picky of which songs I would give. This current project I'm working on, definitely, it is me having the experience, I believe, or I would hope, the necessary experience to say, okay, I believe that each and every song on this album, when I send it to whomever, they are going to love it, no matter which part of the world they're in. They're gonna love it. You know, and we're gonna play it. So it's a combination of that, along with, you know, yeah, I was never quick to just release anything to any and every market. You know, I took my time, and then having 8 years experience in this thing right now, it's built me to the point where I can definitely say to myself, I believe that Canada's market would work. Would work. This would work well in Canada's market, or this would work well in the U.S. market. This would work well in that market. You know, and then to music. I mean, like any industry, I believe we're at a peak where, because of the internet also, we have so much, so much artists, so much music, you know. So to me, it's never expecting that, hey, because I've put out this amount of energy and this amount of work on this song, they need to pick my song. They need to say yes to my song. I understand, hey, it's a lot of music out there. So I can't expect them to, and I just have to continue to build in terms of quality, in terms of every aspect, the marketing and whatnot, and hope for the best whenever I send the music out to those outside of Trinidad and Tobago.
I got you.
Okay.
Hope I answered you.
Yeah. And with that being said, because there are so many artists in the market, who are some artists that you look to for inspiration, as far as just, you know, picking up ideas or bouncing ideas off of that? You know, if you hear a song and you say, you know what, I like how they, you know, were able to feel the cadence over the, you know, over the song, or, you know what I mean, just whatever you're able to pick up from these artists, especially a lot of big artists like you mentioned before, like Kirk Franklin and them. So who are some artists that you look to for inspiration?
Well, I listen to a lot of different styles of music. I grew up, as much as, you know, I'm a lover of God. I grew up with my dad loving Lionel Richie. I grew up with my dad loving Kenny Rogers. You know, I grew up with that you know, and then of course that's into you know, so there's of course Michael Jackson. So you're getting to understand pop, you know, and then of course gospel being in the mix of all of that. So with that, it's honestly, sometimes I would go back to some Michael Jackson and be like, ooh, like, why did I not hear that when I was this old, you know, or why did I not hear that the first time I heard this song, you know? So there's Michael, there's definitely Kirk Franklin. I just love the richness in the voices. Sorry. So yeah, it's just me going back to some Michael Jackson. Of course, definitely Kirk Franklin. There's also me sometimes going back to some Lionel Richie. You know,
Ooh, you went back. Lionel Richie. Woo!
Yeah. You know, going back to some Aretha, you know,
Wow.
I'm in love with Rachel, so I love how he plays piano. I love how he sings. I just love his voice in general. And that in itself kind of it's kind of shaped the way I sing also. Not trying to copy him in any way, but just that, you know, the way you can tell the emotion in everything he sings. I'm like, I need persons to get that every time I sing. Please let them get this every time I sing. And then John Legend was the next person for me, where it was like, anytime I get a John Legend album or stream his albums or singles, I'm like blown away. I'm like, yes. So it's a mixture of everything, you know, gospel, R&B, hip hop. Sometimes Drake in himself, you know, sometimes I would go to Drake and be like, yeah, dude, whatever 40's doing, I appreciate it. Yes, let's keep it going.
Right. But jumping into the music, I really, really want to know about your new single and project that you're working on. You just definitely got to tell the audience about this, because, you know, I'm excited over here. I've been hearing about it for so long.
Yes.
Tell me about your single and the project you're working on.
Well, because of Definitely trying to establish the managerial side of my record label, and definitely establishing the record label in itself. I would have stopped music for about 2 years and a half, and it wasn't any decision of mine to say, well, yeah, just stop. It was kind of like, hey, let's try and establish this. And then I had specific artists, under me, where I was working with them and trying to build them up, or add to what
Right.
they've already built. With that being the case, in 2018, I would have been presented with a song. The producer just messaged me, and he was like, you know, you wanna do a cover, you wanna do an original song. What do you want to do? And I was like, I'm not sure as yet. And then I came to him and I said, okay, I want to do a cover. And then he was like, you know what? I feel it in my spirit that you have to do an original song. So let's meet, let's write, let's put this all together. And we developed and got I Choose to Live. Shout outs to Audio Predators, that's my producer. And we did my first single that was released last year, I Choose to Live. And having dropped I Choose to Live, it was just like, I can help myself. I told him, here's what, I want an entire album. Let's do an entire album. And he was like, you sure? I was like, yeah, whatever it may cost, whatever needs to be done, I'm gonna fight the good fight and get this done. So we started working on the album, which would have led to a lot of experiences. The album process isn't always dandy, but it's fun nonetheless. So we worked. 8 songs in total. I don't really fancy lengthy albums, so we decided, okay, we're gonna do 8 tracks on this album. And in doing 8 tracks on this album, we then decided, okay, we should have a second single, of course. The intention was to drop this single last year, October. So in March, I would have dropped I Choose to Live, the first single, and then last year, October, we would have hoped that we could have dropped the second single. And then, God had his way, and we weren't fussing because we were still working on the album. And we were able to drop the single in April, and I thank God, because it happened in a time where, of course, we're all dealing with COVID.
Right.
And the message in itself, the single is entitled Surrender, and the message in itself, speaks to how we have all had to kind of sit back during this pandemic, and kind of reflect and be like, I really need to change some stuff. Or, you know what, I've done pretty good for myself, or, I really haven't taken a moment to stop and smell the flowers and say, hey, you did good, young man, or you did good, young woman, so it was, the song in itself speaks to that, having understanding. Hey, I'm sitting back and reflecting and being like, God, if it wasn't for you, where would I be? So I surrender my all, and I thank you for this reflection. I thank you for understanding. Hey, I couldn't have done this without you. I couldn't have, reached here if I didn't work hard enough to get here. So we were able to drop the second single, and we actually have one more song that we're completing. The singers have to go into studio to complete that last song, and from there we head over to mixing and mastering. And my hope is definitely before November we have the album complete and ready for everyone to buy, stream, and share.
Get it out.
Yeah.
Well, congrats. You'll make it happen. November right around the corner. So
Yes, it is.
I got faith that you'll have it out in due time. You got this.
So, with it being in the middle of the year, with it being in the middle of the year, and there's a lot of music that's come out in the past couple of months, what's your favorite song or album to listen to? What song do you find yourself going back to, throughout this year, or album rather?
Okay, so in March, mid-March, Trinidad and Tobago was, like other parts of the world, was struck with cases of COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have led to the government saying, "Hey, everybody stay home. Whichever businesses can't be open, this, that, and the other." And I would have gone back to a lot of old school in the beginning stages of that. I don't know. I just felt as if, let me go back to some old school. So it was a lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Of course, Lionel, as I would have mentioned. It was a lot of, even as I would have mentioned with the new single, a lot of reflecting. So it's just me going back to a lot of old school. And then the albums that would have really hit home for me would have been of recently John Legend's new album, Bigger Love, and Ty Tribbett's We Gonna Be Alright.
Okay.
Those two, well, that song and that album, it would have hit a special place for me. And as I would have mentioned, loving to listen to music. There's a lot more I would have gone to, um, you know, would have gone back to some J. Cole, and you know, more or less, yeah, the John Legend Bigger Love album and Ty Tribbett's We Gonna Be Alright single. Those
Okay.
two items in music would have really stuck with me and has stuck with me thus far.
Nice. Yeah. I've been meaning to pick up John Legend's album. I know it came out, but I haven't had the opportunity because some artists I like to actually go buy their music.
Yeah.
John Legend is one of those people. I've seen John Legend from when he was playing piano with Kanye West when I was in Jamaica years ago. Kanye West was doing the College Dropout tour, and he was like, "This is the next guy to blow." And next thing you know, a couple months later, his first album came out. You know what I mean? So yeah, so hopefully you'll be on that same path too, man. You'll be on the stage with somebody and they'll be like, "Hey man,
Yes,
Mekaiel,
sir.
he's up." So
I accept that. I speak that to life, man. I accept that.
yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Definitely.
Like I said before, man, you're a very talented individual, man. Like I was listening to Surrender and it was moving. I liked it a lot.
Yes. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're
Thank you.
welcome.
That means a lot. I'm always open to definitely being critiqued. It's not a problem for me. But when, of course, there's strong positives to songs, yeah, and I couldn't have done it without audio predecessors. That is, he's my Timberland. I'll call him that. He's my Timberland. Leroy Byers. He's my Timberland. I guess
Okay.
you can call me the Timberlake, but he's my Timberland. Yeah, like
I got
dude
you.
he's out of this world, and my ideas he's able. I've never met another producer that's able to really um, sit with me and just, it's almost as if he's hearing my thoughts as to what exactly I want to accomplish with a specific song, which makes me even more excited for the album. I really do believe a lot of persons are going to be loving the album once it hits.
Absolutely. And CC and I will definitely be on the lookout for the album when it drops,
Oh,
man. Because we
Definitely,
waiting for it.
definitely.
You know I'm one of your supporters. You already know.
Yes.
So you.
Yeah.
Yes,
But I
yes.
know our time is running, so we're gonna go ahead and go into the trivia with you. Okay? We got some trivia
Okay,
questions for you.
Yep.
okay.
Mine is easy. If you had to teach and knowledge on one of these things that you're good at, and I know we didn't get into the screenwriting and stuff that you've done,
Mm-hmm.
but if you had to teach learning the word to people, music and writing, or telling people about your country, which one would you teach and why?
I mean, being patriotic to your country, you would of course want to teach persons about your country, but also I would faster jump to teaching on music and writing. You know, especially from a perspective of having to teach yourself outside of going to, you know, any courses or whatnot to better your understanding, but definitely having to learn by yourself. Yeah, I would love to then share that knowledge, you know, share that knowledge. So music and writing, yeah.
Wow. Okay. That wasn't my good pick for you. I thought you would pick teaching people about the word of God and teaching them, you know, that's what
I
I would
mean,
have picked of you. So,
I love God, you know. It's not
I
like I don't love
got
God,
you.
you know. I understand, but I mean, yeah.
I get you. I just said that was just my opinion. I was like, I think he might teach this one, but all right, Mickey Monday, what's your trivia for?
Oh yeah. So my trivia question is, if you can only keep 3 apps on your phone, which ones would you keep and why?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Like excluding like the text message and like, all the essentials that you need, like
Right.
phone,
Mm-hmm.
FaceTime, Duo, or, anything that you need to get in contact with people, like apps that you have to install from the store. Which 3 apps would you keep and why?
That's Notes,
Mm.
my note app, definitely.
Okay.
Oof, Instagram. I don't know if I can say Instagram, but
Okay.
Okay.
Instagram. Yeah, I love Instagram a lot more than Facebook. And a third one, a third one. Mm, ooh,
Is that
I,
hard?
yeah,
It's
I
a
would have
tough
to
one,
go.
right?
Yeah, yeah. I know that I don't have to call an app that I communicate with persons with.
Mm.
But uh, especially in Trinidad, we use WhatsApp a lot.
Yeah.
So I would have to say WhatsApp. Yeah, WhatsApp. The it has its addictive ways in terms of
Mm.
you know. I guess I would have to say it's a bad habit of mine sometimes not wanting to call persons. So you'd want to just message them and say, hey, so and so is the case. Let's meet up, or I need so and so. So
Right.
yeah, I would put that as a third app if I could put that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, my
Okay.
mom's side is family from Jamaica, so I use WhatsApp a lot too. So I know what you mean. Sometimes
Yeah,
it can be a little much. People start sending you stuff. You're like, oh man, like it's like
yeah.
Facebook. They start sending you stuff in the messages. You're like, wait a minute, I just trying to say hi.
Hold up. Yes. Yep. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, tell everybody where they can follow you at and where they can get your music.
Well, I've made it super simple, guys. Mekaiel official. So Mekaiel official. Mekaiel official on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Um, just type in Mekaiel on iTunes or Apple Music, or anywhere you listen music or buy music. So yeah, Mekaiel official on any and every platform that you could think of. Well, I'm more definitely on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Those 4 are the main things.
Got
But yeah, if you're looking for me, Mekaiel official. Trust me, you're gonna get me, Mekaiel official, and Mekaiel on any platform you listen or stream music. So I've made it as super simple as possible. And yeah.
Well, I want to say congrats on your journey. I'm very, very proud of you. You
Thank
know, keep
you.
continuing to put out good music, and I love it. I love it. I'm very,
Thank
very
you.
proud.
Thank
You know,
you.
you already know because
Yes,
I tell you
yes.
all the time, but
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
thanks for
Yeah.
doing the
Yeah.
interview with us.
Thank you for having me. Trust me. Thank you for having me. It's an honor always to have persons that say, "Hey, want to interview you." I take the opportunity very seriously, and I take every chance I get to do these kind of interviews because I know it's of course me being able to reach a lot more persons than I would normally reach by myself. So thank
Mm.
you, seriously, thank you guys, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, you're
okay.
welcome. Welcome. Wish you much success.
Yes, yes. All
Yes,
right,
yes,
well,
thank you.
you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday today. And make sure you
Yes,
tell
you
the family,
too.
hey, And congratulations
will.
on the baby and everything.
Yeah, congrats.
She done
Thank you,
got
thank you.
older now, but
Yes, she has. She's down by her grandparents today. So it's just me and the wife. The
okay.
wife isn't home as yet. So yeah, it's
Well,
just
you
me
make sure
right
to
now.
go cook her that good old meal today. Go pamper her today.
Yes,
How about
yes,
that?
yes. I love it.
Well, it was nice seeing you, and thanks again for interviewing with us.
Thank you, thank you. Same here.
You're welcome, man. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday and stay safe.
And
All right.
man, same to you
Be
guys.
safe.
Blessings.
All right.
One, two, three.